Oh my goodness, we are back. This time with the market analysis template. Now, you may be saying, what do I need a market analysis template for? And the answer to that question is there are so many times at our company and companies that I've consulted for, and even the company that acquired us, who I ultimately went to work for, there's so many times where we're asking ourselves, what market should we pursue? Where should we focus our time and our energy to go acquire our ideal customer profile? Because there are so many different leads and ICPs that are coming in the top of the funnel that are purchasing our product. And so when you have customers from many different industries purchasing your product, it can be hard to determine where you want to focus. It can also be difficult to determine what is the next market to pursue as you go from early adopters to ultimately crossing the chasm to the early majority, which is a very difficult task. And there's a great book on that, which I can also share with you here. But this is the market analysis template. So this is what we've used to determine the next best market to pursue. So I'm going to go through this in detail. First is the instructions tab. Again, I'll include a link below this so that you can make a copy of the template for yourself. And if you join our go-to-market school, which I'll also link to below, then you can have access to this template as well as every other marketing and sales operating template that we use for our B2B SaaS company. So here we go, the instructions tab. This will give you a high-level overview of what's included and how I personally use this template to run our market analysis. I did this for our company that went from 2 to 18 million ARR. I've also used this at our 100 plus million revenue software company now. So I think it can apply to yours. Now, the first tab which I decided to include was this strategic market position tab, which you can go through this exercise to kind of get an understanding of where you fall within the market that you operate. This is sort of important to understand before you actually conduct an analysis. So first thing here, when you think about how unique your product is versus the complexity, and this actually determines how you position your product in the market, how you price your product, how you go to market, like so much of this, and I'll go through each of these in detail, informs your decisions. So you want to go through this. So uniqueness on the left here, and then complexity across the bottom. And so, for example, if you are very complex and unique, you're a premium product. If you are simple and a commodity, not very unique, then you're a volume-based product. Right? So think about it. I left a little cloud here. You can move your cloud based on where you are. Maybe throw these into a PowerPoint or a Google slide presentation to present internally. The next is new, an existing market versus your product, whether it's a new or existing product. So are you saying that we want to pursue an existing market that we're already in or a new market? And then are we going to market with an existing product or a new product? And that will inform what this means. So for example, if it's an existing product that you are already existing in, you have customers in that market, then it's market penetration. You're going deeper into that existing market. If it's an existing product but a new market, it's market development. You're acquiring new customers in a new market, so you're developing that market. So that's the second one. So move your cloud or your logo, make that your logo. Move it around in these tiles. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The third is sales involvement versus average deal size. So how involved is sales? Is it a no-touch, self-serve, product-led growth motion, or a high-touch, sales-led motion, where they're interacting with sales reps and helping them navigate that buying journey? And how big is your deal size? Are you doing deals $100 per user per month, or even $100 per year? Or are you up in the $1 million range? And ideally, this line charts up and to the right. You would have a line sort of across the chart here. So as your deal size gets bigger, it becomes a more high touch process. In most cases, that's how it works. But if you find yourself with a very high touch process up here, with an average deal size of 1,000, you better be very careful and have a very good understanding of your unit economics for how much you're paying to acquire a customer and what the lifetime value of that customer is. Because in most cases, SaaS companies are not charging enough money, and they're spending too much upfront to acquire them. So go through this exercise. I think it's a great exercise. There's so many strategic mistakes made at companies because they did not think through this. And all of that then informs the market analysis that you do. This is a template, a blank template. You can fill in your own details. So let me go to the example because I think that really contextualizes it for you. So let's say you are, we'll zoom out. I put in 4 market verticals, for example. So let's say you have customers that are B2B SaaS customers. They're buying your product. You have customers in the financial services industry, management consulting, energy. What I've included are the criteria that we include in our analysis to then evaluate these different markets and determine which is the best one to pursue. So the first one is a market size. You can go to third-party research like a Forrester or a Gartner to get this information. The next is the number of accounts in market. You can use tools like a ZoomInfo or an Apollo to get market sizing to see how many accounts by geography are in this particular market. You can, from the third-party research, you can understand their growth rate. So how quickly are they growing? And when you think about what kind of market do you want to be in? Do you want to be in newspaper advertising, selling to newspapers, where their revenues are declining and are on a long-term downward trend? Or do you want to be selling to digital advertisers or media companies that have a long-term upward trend? The next is barriers to entry. So how difficult is it to get into that market? B2B SaaS, like let's say you're going for early stage SaaS companies that are early adopters, they may be much more likely to adopt your product than, let's say, a multinational financial services company that has slow processes, internal processes to purchase software. They have very strict security requirements. So this may be much more difficult to break into. Next is strategic alignment. So when you think about where are we going as a company and the strategy, how does this fall into that strategy? Does this take us away from our core offering long term, or does this keep us aligned strategically? Next is the ability to compete. So, if we enter this market, what are the alternatives within that market that are currently serving this customer problem? And so can we compete in that arena effectively? And then the market economics. This is, what are the economics of the customers in that market? Are they well funded? Are they cash rich? You include the market economics for these different markets here. Then, so those are the market sort of conditions up top. Then you look at your actually current customers, and you may list some marquee customers here, the percent of your total revenue, the average ACV for that customer segment, the gross retention. So at the end of 12 months, if you started with, let's just say, $1 million of revenue from this particular industry, this customer base within your current customer base, $1 million at the end, You have 950,000, you've lost 5%. So that's the gross retention. What's the average growth of those accounts, otherwise known as expansion? And then you can calculate your net revenue retention. So this gives you a sense of like, well, how well are these customers from our current base performing? And then the sales cycles, how long does it take you to win that customer? So you can have a clear understanding of the effort required to win these customers, or at least what it took in the past. And then any notes on the buying journey. I think that's just important if like there are nuances for one particular market versus the other. And all that, when you combine that and you compare them side to side, that can help you determine if it's a poor, good, or best fit. So that is how we have approached it in the past. There are many more criteria that you can take into consideration. But we have found that these are the most important to inform our decision making. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you want to take advantage of this, just make a copy of this Google Sheet, and then you can personalize it for the markets that you want to analyze. If you like this, and now once you've established your market, you want to start to think about how can I allocate sales territories to go after these different markets, I will go into the sales territory plan next. So I'll see you in the next video. Hope that was helpful.